Zeeb prowls up alleys and down late, when night like a broad dull cleaver severs the town's main artery, and street lamps exhale grime and pollen in yellow halos, faceless as pestilence, ubiquitous as death. Within the compound walls he strikes impartially in the wan hours, a candid prophet, a hawker of reality. Zeeb and the night guards have a working agreement. Whatever moves in the southwest quadrant, where beggars and petty vendors and other undesirables are housed, is his to violate and plunder, to butcher, mutilate, rob, or merely terrorize, while they, the olive-clad night elite, ferret out conspirators and thieves in the more prosperous sectors. It is a mutually advantageous pact, preserving the stability of the state, the safety of its defenders, the crush of fear among the rabble, and Zeeb's solitary freedom. Zeeb, mute and amber-eyed, pensile bones visible through pitted hide, moves like a fog, seeking victims. Kills for coin, food, rags, or the joy of snuffing out a life beat with his fingers. He is neither cruel nor mad. He does unto others as he would have them do unto him, would concur in the categorical imperative had he been schooled in formal ethics, obeys the laws, pay obeisance to the church, and in his daylight dealings with other men, though somewhat distant and eccentric, is always impeccably correct. Zeeb is celibate, friendless, stable, and pious, free of ambition, virtually free of doubt, ideal compound dweller, a perfect subject of the state. If he has ever wondered about justice, the inviolability of human life, mercy, freedom, love, or compassion, there is nothing in the world of sensible phenomena to make him question his nocturnal acts. In his own uncomplicated way, he believes in God and Satan in efficiency, competence, and unlike the others, in solitude. He views himself as a minor implement in the struggle to educate the citizenry. A man fortunate to have found his secluded niche within the communality of the compound. While others sleep, Zeeb toils at raw reality. At sunup, when the work brigades march to bunkers and weapon plants, he dreams exultantly of murder. Zeeb! What is it? The captain wants to see you right away. The captain? Yes, right now. Zeeb dons his holiday grays and starched white blouse, fumbling, scraping shoe tips on his calves, brush plowing through his hair, a reel of images flickering through his mind as he attempts to visualize the lofty official. He has never met the captain, nor lieutenants, sergeants, corporals. His sole contact was with underlings who, with a splatter of brown juice in the dirt, passed soggy and contemptuous commands at dusk. Now, in blatant sunlight, he scurries, limp runs to the sandbagged central hall, is ushered by the clerks and ready gunners through armored doors into the presence of the chief. Zeeb trips on thick carpet pile, bows, sputters, cowers, as the reedy gaze behind the desk audits his worth from toe to crown. The captain is young. His face seems to lack all history, but for a brown mole set into the hollow of his chin. So you are Zeeb? Zeeb, the night killer? Yes, sir. They tell me you derive a certain pleasure from garroting strangers on deserted streets. Well, it's a living, sir. Just a vocation then, old man. You don't dote on your power? Tingle a bit when your victim's flesh turns blue? Don't you taste glory for an instant as life and soul flee with a gasp from the shell? No, sir, not I. It's just my job and my duty. The captain rises, frowning, mole drained of its purple ink, walks slowly to confront Zeeb's eyes, the gold medallion of the church blazing through the shirt's incision. Zeeb backs a step, pupils darting about the vastness of the room, empty but for the two of them. I'm not going to hurt you. I only want the truth. Perhaps you've never thought about this quite like this before. Yes, sir. We're brothers, you know, you and I. We share a great deal more than the barriers between us sunder. Is there nothing you feel at all in the moment of decisive death? Zeeb, still half bent and palsied, reads the captain's lineless cheeks and grovels. Fear, sir. Fear is what I feel. Fear. Suddenly, the pale official lips twist to a sneer. The metal rattles on the uniform, and the captain's open, slashing hand lands on Zeeb's temple like a cudgel. Fear? You'd rather be a tanner than a killer? You'd rather dig among worms with a spade than ply your night trade for the worm's morning meal? I must confess I would, sir. You must confess you would, sir. I heard about your exploits, Zeeb. Your murderous cunning, stealth, your loyalty and skill. I heard how like a lightning ray you struck, leaving your victims placid, unaware, child-mouthed as if they died at birth. Degenerates and beggars, perishing in seeming innocence. Only a coward or a god, I thought, would choose to murder in the blind of night, when no one but the stars would see the final gaze of living, knowing eyes. You are no god. No, sir. That's right, all right. You'd like to be a bagger on the sand cruise, or water boy, or mortar mixer? I won't give you the pleasure. You'll go on being just a snail, feeding on gnats in the darkness. The captain laughed, dropped in the swivel chair, pressed a cord of buttons with his hand. Why, Zeeb, you're not even half a man. The guards were through the door already, quick to seize the captain's sneer. They had their coarse palms deep into the old man's skin. Wait, one last order, Zeeb, from these dizzying heights, before you crawl back to your burrow. Tonight, an enemy of the state, posing as a beggar in a tattered suit of grays, will come from some subterranean pit in the southwest quadrant seeking food and water. Dispatch him with your coward skill. We can't be bothered with such trifles. Before they kicked him down a score of steps out of the central hall, into the blinding noon-hour dust, he heard a guard yell, "You could have been a corporal at the least." Zeeb makes his way, arm up to ward off the sun and green diurnal flies, to the barracks, where, still trembling, he falls into a nightmarish sleep, dreaming, for once, not of murder, but of the oppressive cruelty of the sun. He wakes much later than usual. The moon is high above the barracks door. He can hear the breathing of the others in their cots. As he dresses, he feels the nightly surge of joy, but stifles it, angrily, almost at once. 311 steps from the barracks door, he sees a bent old hag with a rent old bag sliding along a building wall. There is no fire in his throat. Zeeb ignores her and goes on. He veers into an alley mouth, flexes his tired fingers until his peaked ears pick the stillness out of silence. The muffled, padded soles on powder, the terse breath and bristling hairs of an approaching figure. Zeeb leaps. Elbow crook vised around the victim's throat, Zeeb grinds his biceps unto death. But this time, while the man's gun twirls to the ground, Zeeb twists his skull a full half-turn, looks long and deep into the other's eyes, drinks profoundly of the final knowledge in those eyes, the last words heard by the murdered man, just before the golden medal was ripped by the chain from his flaccid neck. Thank you, sir. Thank you.